Many people in their late 40s often dream that once they finally retire, they'll be able to spend some quality time each and every year relaxing by the beautiful sea. And most often they think that to do this, they first need to save up several $100,000. In reality, that's not the case at all. If you live in Canada or the US and already own your own home or apartment, then you likely already have the main tool to realize your dream. Over the last 15 to 20 years, real estate values in many regions of Canada and the US have risen significantly, and most homeowners have accumulated hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity in their own home or apartment. Part of this equity can be used to buy property in the Dominican Republic without even having to sell your primary home. You just need to make this accumulated equity work for you. To achieve your dream of retiring by the sea, you should buy property right now while retirement is still 10 to 15 years away rather than after you retire. And the most common mistake is precisely waiting for retirement. This is important because by taking care of it in advance, you can get a beachfront property absolutely for free. Let's say you're in your late 40s and you have a paid-off property in the US or Canada, or perhaps a property with a small mortgage. While you're working, it won't be hard for you to get a home equity line of credit against that property and use that money to buy an apartment in the Dominican Republic. You'll be able to come here a couple of times a year for vacation. For the remainder of the time, the property will be rented out on a short-term basis, and within 10 to 12 years, it will completely pay off the entire credit line that was taken out against your home. Modern resort complexes offer professional property management, so the owner doesn't need to find tenants themselves or handle apartment maintenance. The complex management will do everything for you. While you continue to live and work in Canada or the US, your property starts working for you, paying off the loan taken against it, and by the time you retire, you have no debt. But you have an apartment by the sea where you can spend 5 to 6 months a year sitting out the winter months. In effect, the tenants gradually help you build a fully paid-off asset. And then comes the most interesting part. When you retire, you come to the Dominican Republic for 5 to 6 months a year. And during the remaining months, the apartment continues to be rented out and generate income. And this rental income covers the apartment's ongoing maintenance costs and most, sometimes even all, of your own personal living expenses during your 5 to 6 month stay in the Dominican Republic itself. It turns out that you're not just vacationing in your own home by the sea, living on the pension you earned back home. Instead, you're living specifically off the steady income this property generates while it's being rented out to others. Besides enjoying a truly comfortable life by the sea, you get another incredibly important financial benefit. You barely spend your pension while you are away, so when you finally return home for those 6 months, you have twice as much money left over to live on. This makes those 6 months at home feel much more comfortable and relaxed. Besides, both of your properties, the one you have lived in for many years and the one in the Dominican Republic, are entirely your own. And best of all, both of these properties are completely debt-free, giving you total peace of mind. Over time, real estate gains value, brings steady income, and can later be an inheritance for kids or grandkids, or just sold for a good profit. You really need to take a moment to look into this and not just sit idly by, waiting for your retirement. And you really need to start in advance. That is precisely why I always strongly advise people not to wait until they actually retire. The age of 45 to 50 is really the perfect time to start planning your future. In those 10 to 15 years, the property will truly work for you, and by the time you want to spend your winters in the warm Caribbean sun, you will have a ready asset that you build without spending a single cent. This is how many families from Canada and the US gradually turn their dream of living by the sea into a well-thought-out financial plan. Retirement isn't just about savings, it's about having the right strategy. Of course, everyone's situation is different. For singles or couples, a small one-bedroom apartment is absolutely perfect, and today you can buy one in a nice new complex right by the sea, starting at just over $100,000. Some have a large family. They are actively planning for their kids and grandkids to come visit quite regularly, so they really need 2 or 3 bedroom apartments. Some would even prefer to have a villa. The beauty of the Dominican Republic is that there's so much comfortable housing being built for every taste, so there's always a choice. Everyone will find exactly what they need here, and our company will help you find a property that fits your desires and budget. See you next time on the channel.